This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to the show. So glad to have you here with us today. Today's topic is what your aura photo says about you. Before we get started with that, I want to say a hello to our listeners in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for tuning in for us week after week. And we just love knowing that you're here with us. This topic is of interest. We've really gotten into this because Roz has been a real driving force with getting aura photography at Sedona Soul Sisters. And so we've all had an aura photo, and we've been reading like, okay, what does that mean? It's like kind of a little, not even really like I guess a little bit like a psychic reading. It tells you things about yourself. And the interesting thing though is that it tells you things about your near future, your recent past. It tells you things about your strengths and your weaknesses, and you might not know, like, not only do the colors mean something, but the placement of the colors in your aura photo means something. And I know, Sedona, you had one taken pretty recently. Are you muted? I'm going to unmute you. There we go.
I'm here.
Do you mind showing
Yes.
your photo, like, as an example as we're talking about this? Because I think it would be helpful. If you don't mind.
This is a big 8x10 printout.
Oh, that's good. And see, what I like about yours, see, you've got a distinct purple on the left side. And I remembered that you had like more of a particular color there. So I'm looking up what that purple means. So purple is dynamic, charismatic, visionary, and powerful personalities.
That's you.
Yeah, and so they have violet emissions in their energy field. They tend to have high levels of thought activity and ability to manifest their desires. And so having that on her left side, I'm looking this up, indicates one's feminine, receptive, or feeling side. It's the part of the personality that receives, feels, accepts, and imagines. So the color in that position is indicative of what you're creating for yourself in the near future. So that means that Sedonah's creating manifestation for herself, being a powerful visionary. We know her well, and I know that's true. I think that is absolutely true. Do you want to talk about that photo a little bit, Sedona?
Yeah, this picture was taken, this aura photo was taken shortly after I got here to work at the Sedona Soul Sisters office. And I was really happy, excited to be here. And it makes sense that this picture is really representative of that. It does show like a lot of the purple, but also have a lot of turquoise. And I'm actually wearing turquoise today, if anyone is watching this. And I was just going to say that you don't have to do this, but based on your aura colors, you can actually wear that color in your life. And I find that when I wear any kind of turquoise, pink, or purple, I feel really good. So that's another reason why I think it's fun to get your picture taken in your aura, because you may even want to incorporate that in your clothing. I feel more powerful when I'm wearing my color chakra. So that's just another tidbit. But the turquoise is also related to the throat chakra, and that's ability to speak. Not just speak in public, but just like speak your truth and share what you need in life. Sometimes people hold back on that. So there's a lot of turquoise in my chakra or an aura system as well. I want to show another picture that was taken. This is probably about a month or so later, and it's really in the pink tones.
Wow.
And so this is, yeah, I know. So this is to show that your aura can change quite a bit. I mean, it hasn't gone to like a yellow or green, and I don't think it will. Like, there's still like a base of who you are. That's why it's interesting, because it does give you a little feedback about your personality when you get the printout pages.
Hold that one
but
there.
This is showing a lot more of the pink. Okay.
Hold that, keep that one up there, because that's a really great example of the white. And you know, the white is about your spiritual connection, and having it straight over your head like that is about where you are right now. It's about purity and truth. And it's the rarest color on the planet. So it says these extremely rare individuals are free from personal issues, hangups, and health problems, which is why their aura projects pure white frequencies. Now, I don't know how true that is because mine reflects that, and I definitely have health issues. So as far as some of that, I don't know. But anyway, I think it's interesting because that one really shows it. I was hoping to find one I had taken in 92. In Prescott, when I lived there, I went to a psychic fair, and I didn't even know what auras were, our photography was. And a friend's like, let's get aura photos done. And the lady was intrigued by my aura, and she said, let's do a couple more. So I decided I would do one just sitting there, which was the first one, and the colors were there. And I wanted to show you that for that very reason of like how different they can be taken right in a row. So one was just sitting there. One was thinking of the person I love. And then the third one was like doing energy healing on somebody, and they were distinctly different. And when I did the energy healing, like the aura went really wide, really far. So I think it's kind of fun to do more than one picture so people can see that, like how it can change. But you're right, the basics is never going to go away because you are who you are, right?
Definitely. And there's something we do at Sedona Soul Sisters where you can have an aura picture taken, right when you come in the door, and then you could get a psychic reading or a sound healing or even a foot bath, and then see how your aura may look after. And that's really fun to do too. And you can see the changes in what's happened with your aura.
Do you have that picture of like the full body aura?
Yes, that's the next one I wanted to show you. So this one, this is really showing your chakras. So I'm going to back up a little bit so you can hopefully see all of them. So that is still, this is matched that second picture I just showed you. So it's a lot of the pink and magenta tones. And then this is giving you a layout of your chakras. So if you know the chakras, you've got the red root, the orange sacral, moving up the spine, the yellow solar plexus in your belly, then the green heart chakra, the turquoise around the throat, indigo blue around the third eye, and then the crown is the purple. So in this, if people are watching this, and I encourage you to watch the video of this one after, if you're just on audio today, you want to have your chakras fairly balanced, like a round circle. If it's too overextended, like mine, the green is a little bit blown out. It's like too much energy going out, which happens a lot. I would say with healers, we're always like working from the heart and just sending out so much love. So, but with healers, we can get sick. We do too much and give too much. So you want to, once you get this kind of view of yourself, you can look at actually how you can change your life. How can I, bring more love into myself instead of just always extending it out? And that goes for anybody and everybody, not just healers. So the same thing with any of the chakras. You want to get them, like my root chakra at the bottom is a fairly round circle. And the rounder it is, the more kind of precise is actually a little bit more balanced. But it's a little bit small, and I was a little bit unrooted for a while. I didn't have my home base. So I'd be curious now that I've moved into my new home if that root chakra is actually a little bit bigger, a little bit more in balance and in peace. So you really can learn a lot from where your chakras are telling you.
So what is I noticed how big the third eye is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Well, I'm a psychic reader, so that's going to be pretty open. You don't just have to be a psychic reader to have that open. I mean, you want to have that open in your life so you can kind of see what's coming ahead and become a little bit more aware of, the trajectory of your path.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what I'm asking is, does
great.
that mean that yours is that good, or is that something you need to work on? Not for you specifically, but just like looking at this as an example, if your body shows one that's really big, is that a good thing?
what you actually want is all your chakras to look the same, like in terms of size, in terms of proportion. When they're kind of like scattering out like that, you want to kind of bring the energy back in a little bit. So Roz, when I was first meeting her and talking about my psychic abilities, she would say to me, you know, how she works is, if it's okay if I say this, Roz, about the antenna, you know, you is that right? You lift up the antenna and you get the information. That's what she always told me. Well, I said to Roz one day, and then she said, well, at the end of the day, I put my antenna down, you know, and I can have my normal life. And I said, Roz, my antenna's broken, it won't go down. You know, I felt like I was always like continuously channeling and like helping people. And so I had to, and I still have to work with that too. Like, you know, I have neighbors. Do I really want to know what they're doing? No, I don't. So you can, if your psychic or empathic abilities are just really going rampant all the time, you can work with like meditative techniques and stuff to kind of reground and come back into yourself. So I think that's important to know. It can teach you a lot about your health, your vitality, where you're really focused in your life, and what needs a little extra work, whether that's bringing the energy a little bit more inward, or that's like, I need to be a little bit more outward in things. I'm a little bit too closed down. So it definitely gives a lot of different insights.
It's all about the frequencies, you know, it's all about the frequencies of the energy field we're in, our energy field we're creating. And so consequently, I mean, we can really shift energy and shift our skills and abilities and everything just by working with our frequencies around us.
I think it's one of the most critical things we can do personally and spiritually is work on that frequency. Do you have your RF picture there, Roz?
I don't.
Oh, shoot.
I was late this morning and I was rushing in.
I have mine. It's a dreadful picture. We had Halloween lighting going on at that time, but I'm going to show it to you. So it's different. I'm trying to make, it might not work with a background. There we go. Nope, it's going to wipe out the background. Let me find this happy place where it might actually show it. There. I have to be behind it, so I can't see it. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mine's different. We have a lot of the same colors, you know, and like white above the head. And that's your spiritual connection. That's your, you know, your purity. But I don't have a whole lot of difference. But when it comes down to the full body one, can you see that?
Uh-huh.
Then you can see like there's a darker area here on the right side of the body, which is the masculine side, and up here on the masculine side, and a little more clear on the feminine side. Everyone's is so different. You know, I really should get another one done without the Halloween lighting and see how that comes out. But I think we need to do some experiments. We do have quite a few aura photos like in the lobby and around the business of different people who've had them there who don't mind having theirs on display. But each one, you might as well have a fingerprint, like it could identify you by your aura. It's so different.
This is my first aura picture that I ever had taken. Unfortunately, it has no clarity in terms of, you know, details of my face, but I was fascinated with it. And from the first time I ever saw this, I thought, oh, I gotta have this. We have to have this aura camera thing.
But notice how you've got that magenta in the corner there. So that is in the recent past. So I don't know exactly when this was taken, but that is about your recent past. And it means you're vibrant in your own way. You walk to a different beat. You feel differently about things than the average person. You even experience things in your own way. That is so Roz. So it's about being creative, individualistic, free-spirited, eccentric, and a big heart, a nonconformist. That is Roz. They might as well just stamp that on her aura photo right there.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, I've got that magenta color. I've got this vibrant purple going on here.
And
Then,
the green is
oh,
interesting.
Around my head, there's just a band of indigo. And then another band inside that.
So do you know what that green is, Roz?
Yeah.
It's the sign of a natural healer.
Somebody else, yeah, when I first saw the picture, I said, wow, look at that green band. And it was actually a Lenny who took this for me for a gift. And she said, yeah, that's because you're a healer. You're a natural healer.
Yeah, people who have green emissions in their energy field radiate unconditional love and life force energy. That I think that's so true, being very balanced. And when it's all around your head like that, let me see what it says about like over the head, the center kind of like all around you. Yours expands out.
Mm-hmm.
So it means you're experiencing that in the moment. That arc over the top indicates that's what your hopes, goals, and aspirations are. So if it extends all across it like that, you're all about healing. And we talk about that all the time. It's like, we have our individual list of what we do for services, but the truth is, at the base of all of that, we are healers. We seek to heal. So, and that is so true of you, Roz. I mean, I know you're always trying to help people heal on multiple levels. That's probably the biggest green band I've ever seen in an aura photo.
It's interesting because it was the first aura photo of mine that I had decided I needed to have one. And it really was, revealed to me things about myself.
Yesterday, I finishing taxes and filing them. And I thought towards the end, I'm like, I should have taken our photo before I started taxes and when they were filed. Because honestly, like my whole energy shifted in this huge way. And I thought that's just, there's so many things that we could test this out on just to see what our energy looks like when you're under stress, when you're pressured, when you're afraid, when you're anxious, and then when you're relaxed. I mean, it's a dramatic difference. It's a barometer of how you're really feeling head to toe.
Well, one of the things that we do with the 22-page printout is quite an extensive overview. And if you can see this is one of the pages. So I'm going to put that a little closer. So it's not just your aura colors and your personality. This actually talks about the breakdown of where you are in mind, body, and spirit. And there's also a stress-ometer here, and it tells you how stressed you are in life. So there's some science to this too. So I think it would be interesting, Ivory, to do these kind of auric testings like before, after a stressful situation, and just kind of see where you are. But there's an emotional odometer here. So it tells you a lot in the 22-page printout. And then this is mine. And it also gives you, just going to read a little bit, like there's a breakdown of career and finances. Like you said, it's like a miniature psychic reading in a way. There's one for health and well-being. I'll just read like a couple lines just to give you a little bit of feedback of what you can. For mine is saying their physical energy may be delicate since they're sensitive to the unbalanced and stressful environment which dominates our planet. So just knowing this kind of stuff, if you didn't know you had a sensitive energy and you kind of find that out through your auras, you have to find ways to live on this planet. So it does give a really good breakdown of not only the beautiful colors, which is great. And I have to say, with mine, I framed it. I was so, so you can do something like that with your aura photo, but then really look at career and finances, what it says, your health and well-being, your stress levels. So it's like holistic doctor in a way. It gives
And
you
it's
this like
more than a
scientific.
picture too. It's I always thought that it would just be like they take your picture, and I'm thinking, how can I get all of that from your picture? But if you're in the aura room right now, Sedona, so you can remind me, I'm pretty sure we just laid our hand on this device that device is reading energy from your hand, from your body, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You place your left hand on this device. I'm not sure if I can get it out here to show. I think I can actually. I'm just going to unplug it there. So this is what it looks like. Oops. And so you have like your 5 finger digits, and it'll just go on that device. And somehow magically it picks up your energy field. And that's what you get is through your hand providing energy to this device. And all of a sudden the colors will start appearing on the screen. It takes a few moments just so because at first it's like all these colors are going off, and then you'll find it'll settle and it'll just be like, this is her base color. A lot of times when people come, they're a bit nervous because like, oh, what am I going to find out about myself? So we have to kind of get through that little nervous part. But I've seen people really, really enjoy it.
Well, I would be nervous if I was feeling bad, because I can't tell you how many days when I was having my extreme back pain, when I'd come into the office and Roz, who sees auras, would be like, you're not doing good. Your aura is gray, or it's brown. Your aura is brown. Like, yeah, nobody wants to see gray and brown in their auric field, but things happen in your auric field when you don't feel well. And, I can feel it in people, but I can't see their aura like Roz can.
It's actually, what's interesting is I could always see that when I was a little kid, and I would see it around people, and I would go, oh, you have a rainbow. You have a rainbow today.
And they're like, what are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah. But it's
there.
there.
It's one of those
it's
things you think
really-
everybody can see it.
It's just energy. So
Now, I've tried so hard. The best I can do is like when I was training to do medical Qigong energy healing, she taught us how to see energy. And it was like putting your fingers together like this with a white background and pulling them apart. And you could see the energy. I could see the energy between the fingers. So I can see things like that, but not the colors like that. So for those of us who don't have that particular gift, aura photography is pretty amazing. I find it fascinating, but I'm very fascinated with people's foot baths too. So, all of this stuff says stuff about us. The foot baths is more about what you need to heal in your body. It's showing you what's being healed, removed from your body. But with these aura photos, I think they're pretty amazing with what they can tell you about yourself and what to expect. Yourself, but what to expect, what's coming up for you, what you've already healed. Oh my gosh, that's really fascinating. And it's a science thing. We have a science whiz at our business, Ed, and it was not easy for him to get this aura camera going. So it is complicated, and bless his heart, he stuck with it for months and got that thing working finally. But I'm so glad he did, because it's such a great tool for healers. Like you said, Sedona, get a picture done before you're healing and get a picture done after you're healing, so you can see that you have received some healing that's beneficial for you, what it's doing for your body.
I think it's interesting too. Like, we all have basic personality traits that that are part of our personality and part of our functionality. How we function, how we work with things, with our brain, with our emotions and stuff like that. And I found it really interesting to look at my couple aura photos that I had and realize that even when I am, because let's face it, I'm pretty intense. So even when I am at my most intense, I can still look at those photos and go, okay, I need to chill or I need to, pay attention to how my energy is functioning right now.
So it's a reminder for you.
One
Oh
thing
my
I
goodness.
did that as a result of the aura photos was I've never been a good sleeper. I'm up, I'm down, I've always had a lot of interactions with things out in the cosmos going on when I should be sleeping. But I got very interested in the chakra pictures, the aura photos, and the information about frequency in the music, the sleep music, and the relaxation music. And I listen to it every night. And it is fascinating how we can decide, that we're going to manage our energy at various times and make it work at that time. And for me, the sleep music has been a revolution.
Well, I'm so glad because I know you
Different
really go
megahertz.
without sleep.
Yeah, it's fascinating, really.
Well, I think this has been a fun topic, and I love looking at everybody's aura photos, and I'm learning more and more about what they mean. It's not been something I specialize in by any means, so it's so great to have the camera there and be able to see the different ones. But if anybody out there is interested in knowing more about us or our services, I invite you to visit our website, SedonaSoulSisters.com. If you have any questions about today's show, topics you'd like us to cover, you can email us. That's in the show description, no matter if you're listening or watching. And I do want to say, please do subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And we like it when you like us. Tune in next Friday. Our topic is the next step of your life purpose. That's always a hot topic, life purpose. Oh my gosh, that is probably one of the hottest spiritual topics out there right now. It remains so. And so we're going to talk about what happens when you find your life purpose and then you realize you're being guided to something different. And it happens. So in the meantime, we hope you have an amazing, enlightening week. We'll see you next Friday.